All right, we're back for another Where Were the Adults? Uh, I slept through my alarm and then tried to take a walk, and now I'm cold. And
Cold out. It's November.
I know, but I was like, oh, it's all right. I'll take a quick walk, and then I came back. I was like, I shouldn't have done that. All right, so it's Thanksgiving. How
Yeah.
dare I better my body, as an old man? But yeah, so it's Thanksgiving, and what's a traditional Marlton Thanksgiving?
Well, I guess Cherokee would play. I think they used to play Winslow
Yeah.
in football. I mean, I don't understand how Winslow was the rival, but that was like the Thanksgiving game. Tradition,
Winslow.
yeah, Winslow. Uh, I don't know. I don't think Marlton really had a traditional Thanksgiving.
Do you remember the turkey trot?
Oh, at Beeler, yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
I remember the turkey trot, and then you would have well, at least when we were in school, kids nowadays don't do this, but you'd have like a big party in the classroom, and
Yeah.
you would get like a makeshift turkey dinner. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I, I remember, but basically ours was always we went to either a family that my family came to my house
mhm,
or we went to our grandparents' house because you remember my mom's the oldest of five daughters. They
right.
all had a bunch of kids, so we were always really close. So we were always spending our weekends with our cousins and stuff like that. So
Mhm,
we were always around each other for Thanksgiving, which got interesting as we got older. But
yeah,
it was, but yeah, and then by the time I was in high school, I was like working every Thanksgiving, so I never had a chance to do anything
yeah.
cool, and I never saw my dad or his family on Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, no such thing.
Yeah, but
Um,
I remember
yeah.
being a little kid and doing like we would go to like the Thanksgiving parade in Philly and stuff like that.
Right.
I never liked that. Like Christmas parade, Thanksgiving parade, I always got like sensory overload of like people in Philadelphia who were just like peeing on the streets.
I remember going to Disney World for Thanksgiving like twice. That was pretty cool.
Mhm. That's cool. Didn't you
Yeah,
guys, but remember when you guys went to Disney World and your mom complained and they moved you to a better hotel?
all the time. That was like the Pat Oro staple. I'll remember this one time that we went down there and it was like a family reunion. It was my family, my uncle, and then my cousins from Michigan.
Hmm.
We all went to Florida, to Disney World, and the one of like the theme park buses stopped short of where we were. And this is
Hmm.
like prime season, like maybe like late July, early August. So
Yeah.
like the bus stopped like 5 feet from where it was supposed to. So all the people in the back got on,
Mhm.
and all
Yeah.
the people in the front didn't get on. So my mom like raised like a holy fit. And needless to say, the next day we had our own personal bus that would drive us everywhere we wanted to go.
That was the original Karen.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I accidentally got off the bus in New York
Oh
and had to
yeah, in
chase it?
Chinatown. In Chinatown. Yeah, I remember that. We were going to see Joel
Joanne
Reed.
Reed, the director of Blood-Sucking Freaks,
Yeah,
for a meeting. But yeah,
yeah.
I know, you know what? We also used to we did we ever play football on Thanksgiving?
Not for Marlton Breck, no.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. I remember playing hockey on Thanksgiving,
Right.
when I was in high school, going to an Ironman tournament with Jay Duckenfield on for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And I also remember when we were little kids, there was a guy who lived behind us who like he looked like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, and he just like was walking down the street in Marlton. He's like holding like two. frozen turkeys, and he's like, "Yeah, my job gave me these. Pretty nice, huh?" And he just kept walking.
That was on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah,
How is he going to cook two frozen turkeys on Thanksgiving Day?
I have no idea. I just remember like we was my cousin and I were sitting out front of our old house, and yeah, just came strolling by, and I just remember my like Uncle Kenny like came out and like went in front of us and like walked us back.
Uncle Kenny was a good man. Still is a good
Yeah,
man. He was.
they live in Florida now.
Yeah. Your Aunt Lisa, Uncle Kenny, and
Mhm.
they treated me very well growing up. So
Yeah, so yeah,
much
they always
love to them.
you were always around. It was like
I was
there
always
was certain
around.
yeah, it was certain people. Everybody was just expected you to just be
Yeah.
there. But no,
Um.
we never really had any Thanksgiving traditions. The Diamond Diner used to like whenever we do it at our grandparents' house, they would cater it because my grandfather was sergeant of police.
All right.
So you would have like everything you could possibly imagine. And I just remember like always having like ribs on Thanksgiving. Like
That's
obviously turkey
cool.
and stuff like that. But like it
Yeah.
was always I was always like I don't know, I was always a big I was like, yeah, ribs on Thanksgiving, that's a great idea.
We used to do a lot of Italian food on
Hmm.
Thanksgiving. Going to my grandparents' house in
The
Belleville, New
gabagool.
Jersey. Um,
Hmm.
so they would do like it would be like Italian like lasagna or like
Yeah.
pasta, meatballs,
Hmm.
like the whole Italian nine
Yeah.
type of thing. And then they would do turkey after that. So by the
Hmm.
time you would eat at like 12, you'd be done at like midnight. It was like
Yeah.
that type of thing.
And then
So
yeah, and then
yeah,
it was always the Cowboys and the Lions every year
yeah.
on Thanksgiving.
Well, that's
The
this year
Eagles
too.
played things. Didn't the Eagles play Thanksgiving a couple years ago? Didn't
They
they?
played on Thanksgiving a couple years ago. This year they play on Black Friday. They play the Bears.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty cool. Do you
Yeah.
remember the one time that we had a blizzard on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I remember that. Like no one else remembers that, but I remember it. It was like I want to say like 91,
Yeah,
92 ish.
it was before I met you.
Yeah.
And if it was 91, 92, I was living in Indian Mills at the time. And you remember out there, like before it all got built up the way it
Mm,
was, there was just a whole lot of nothing, you
yeah.
know? Like their biggest thing was when they got a Wawa, you would have thought that like the president came to town. But we're gonna walk to Wawa. But yeah, I remember that really well because I remember like it being like it wasn't like the blizzard of '96. Remember
No,
that?
no. I just remember it
But
snowed and it snowed pretty hard.
yeah.
Because that was one of the Thanksgivings that we stayed home in Marlton. It was just
Mhm.
me and my family. We didn't
Yeah.
travel. We just stayed home. And I remember it that it snowed about maybe like 6 inches.
Yeah. And
I
I remember
remember that.
we went sledding where they eventually built the second, like the middle school. There's like this
Yeah,
big hill there. And I remember us going, my brother and I and this kid who lived across the street who it's a weird kid. And but yeah, I remember that 91, 92 or something like that. And then we moved to Indian Mill or to Marlton,
yeah,
and then we didn't have anything till that blizzard of '96 when the pipes froze.
yeah. It was like the Blizzard 96 and the Blizzard 97.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that forget his name, he's a meteorologist on Fox 29, and
Hmm.
he's like, be prepared, mountains of snow, and like
Yeah.
everybody like canceled school, they canceled work, and nothing happened. And then like he's outside like reporting it, and somebody punched him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
remember
remember
that.
that?
It's not like that. Like he got punched. That's terrible. But he could have been that Brazilian soccer player.
Who
Remember that guy?
Pepe?
The guy
Pepe?
who they the guy they shot.
He was from Brazil. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The World Cup. Got off the plane and assassinated him like he was Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's crazy.
Walk
Imagine
up
like
the hey.
in front of his mother.
Oh, it was Terrible, terrible.
But yeah, we never. I don't know. We didn't really have any like Thanksgiving traditions. Like obviously, it was always good to go and eat and stuff like that. It was good to
Yeah,
have the vacation, and then obviously there would always be like a big movie out for Thanksgiving. I remember you and I went and saw The Grinch at the Marlton 8,
I remember
and
that.
years later when we would work there, we found out that right after we left there, somebody tried to flush underwear down the toilet and it clogged both. Because remember, the men's room and the ladies' room were on both sides of the concession
Yeah, yeah,
stand.
yeah. I remember
Apparently, it backed up and filled the entire lobby with like sewage water.
that. I remember. Remember when like we worked there and there was like that big hunk of like bear shit
Yeah, it was like
and
shaped like a perfect ball.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
who does that?
on the floor.
Thanksgiving, maybe 6, 7 years ago, I'm running the Wayne Theater, and it's always impossible to get staff to come in
Mhm.
for holidays and stuff like that. This dude climbed up onto like the stall, stood there, pulled his pants down, standing shit down into the toilet with the door open. And
Yeah.
like he was a little slow. I went and grabbed his dad, and his dad said that somebody stole fruit snacks out of his duffel bag, and that's what he was upset about. And I was like, "What?" Like,
Do you remember? Do you remember Kenyatta?
yeah,
Remember? And he wouldn't let us in to the. It was what? It was like an R-rated film. We were like
it was
17.
Man on the Moon.
It was something like that. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you gotta start with me, Jabroni." Remember that?
Yep. Remember, like years later, we'd work with him, and he was like, he came out of the woods, and he
Yeah.
looked like the famous Patterson Gimli film of Bigfoot. Like he like stopped and looked back at us.
I remember when he got a shot of like vodka that,
Mhm.
and then like he like took the shot. He was like, and then he had to hold his glasses. Remember that?
Where do you think he is now?
Probably the manager of the Marlton 8.
No, I know that. I know Jeff still works there.
I don't know who Jeff is.
Remember Jeff? He had the big curly hair.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah,
he
yeah,
was at your high school
yeah.
graduation party.
Yeah. I just didn't know. I forgot his name.
Mhm.
Yeah,
'Cause I still talk to Julie every so often.
I remember.
You
Yeah,
know,
she's a nice kid. I remember her.
yeah,
Mm.
those crazy Baptists.
Remember, I was supposed to go see In Sync with them.
Hmm.
It was like right after we graduated high school. We were like, because I was really into In Sync,
Yeah.
and they got like the celebrity tour tickets. It was at like Citizens
Mm.
Bank Park, and I didn't go, and they all got pissed off. It was senior week. I was in Wildwood. I remember you had to
Yeah.
pay my ticket because you didn't want to look. You didn't want me to look bad, so you're like, here's the
Yeah.
money for the ticket. Just shut
Yep.
up. I remember that.
Get out of my face. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because they went and saw who was that other boy band?
O Town.
Well, yes,
He was
yeah.
really into O
Because
Town. Yeah.
yeah, because Amber brought that up, and I couldn't remember any of the names of these bands. I was just like, oh my God.
Oh, I do.
Um, because you did the bye 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 dance at your high school thing, but then it
I
was
was
just
known
in
for that. I was known for that.
the Deadpool movie. He did that for the opening titles of Deadpool and Wolverine. And Amber and I went to go see that, and she was like, "Do you remember when your friend did that in his high
Yeah,
school thing?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember."
I probably still could do it. It would take
I,
me a little bit, but I probably still know the steps to it.
I never understood any of those boy bands. That was a you thing.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
in
a
high school, I was called Justin Timberfake.
Oh, okay.
It's in the yearbook.
It was like I was a mummy, and there was these girls.
That was Backstreet Boys. I remember that I slept over your house, and we were like, that's when MTV played music videos.
Yeah,
I remember just flipping through it because we saw the Newfound Glory, My Friends Over You. And
yeah.
that's when I started getting into punk. And that came on after. I
Hmm.
mean, that video was pretty cool. I mean,
It
but
had Skylar White from Breaking Bad's in that video.
yeah, and it was like
Yeah,
Backstreet's back, but where were they?
yeah. It's their first
Yeah,
song.
Yeah, that's like what we were confused. They're like, yeah, they were a pretty popular boy band of that time, but it's like Backstreet's back. All right, but where were you?
Yeah. You don't want to know was
Where
that
were
big
you,
fat
Nick
guy,
Carter?
that big fat guy who was like all their managers. I don't
Oh,
want to know where
Lou
I don't
Pearlman.
want to I don't want to know where they were. You know, I've seen documentaries.
Oh, I've seen them too. I know. I'm friends with Chris Kirkpatrick
Mhm.
from NSYNC. Because he's supposed to do Punk Rock 101. So like I've
Yeah.
spoken to him a couple times. But yeah, like those like boy band documentaries, you get like I know some tea from like the Dan Schneider kids
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I'm friends with some of those kids,
Which
and
is
then
crazy
like
because remember when he was on Head of the Class?
I do
Yeah.
remember it was when he was in Better Off Dead
Yeah.
when he was like the neighbor.
Yep.
Mother wants you to come home. Then he
I love
gives
that
like the
movie.
girl like a picture of himself for Christmas.
Yeah, because I always had the biggest crush on Diane Franklin, who was
Okay.
the French girl in that. She was
Yeah.
also in like Amityville 2 and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and stuff like that. But yeah, watching these documentaries, I was like, holy shit! I remember when that dude was on
Head
Head
of
of
the
the
class.
Class, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was but I mean, I was too old for that Nickelodeon stuff.
Right.
You know, like I think like my time watching Nickelodeon kind of ended with Roundhouse. You know.
The original Snick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
I
is
remember
like what was it was Clarissa Explains It All,
Roundhouse, all that,
Ren and
and then Are You Afraid of the
Stimpy,
Dark?
and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Well, I guess all that came after because I never saw that one.
Oh, so the original Snick
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
would have been Clarissa, Roundhouse, Ren and Stimpy,
And
and
then Are You
then
Afraid of
Are
the
You
Dark?
Afraid of the Dark? Are You
Yeah,
Afraid of the Dark was always last.
because that started. I remember that being a Canadian TV show
Mhm.
before because it was we had friends with satellite. And I remember watching it, and then when it was on Nickelodeon, I was like, "Oh, it's I remember this show," you know. Um, a kid went to a birthday party at Billy Hogan's house, and it was the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where like the mall became like a video game
Yeah, that
or a pinball machine.
Danny Cooksey was in that one.
And the kid who came to the birthday party was got so scared he peed his pants.
Well, do you know like one of the kids that was on that created that show Letterkenny
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
on
Hmm.
Hulu? Yeah, because I was trying
Yeah.
to get can't think of the kid's name, the main actor of Letterkenny. Um I was trying to get him to be the showrunner of Punk Rock 101,
Yeah.
and you know I'm friends with Jeremy Roenick from the
Hmm.
Flyers. So like
Yeah.
Jeremy like actually reached out to this kid. I can't remember the kid's name on the top of
Yeah.
my head, but he signed a contract with like the Canadian government where he
Hmm.
can only do Canadian TV shows.
And what was he? Is he a meteorologist as well?
No, he's an actor.
Oh, because one of the dudes became a meteorologist in Canada.
Yeah, let me see if I can look it up real quick.
I
I
watched the
forget.
doc. I watched the doc because I really enjoyed that show when it first came on, like Zebo the Clown and shit
Yeah,
like that. Um,
letter.
but yeah, but yeah, it was always I always enjoyed when we had the time off because it was a time to like stay up late, eat a lot, and then like go out. And I remember like kind of around this time we'd have the lakes getting freezing, so we'd be able to
Yeah,
go out and play hockey and stuff like that. Or we would try to go out and play roller hockey in the cold, and the ball would turn into concrete. You know?
the actor's name is Jared Kesso. That was the kid,
Oh, okay.
Jared Kesso. But thinking of Thanksgiving, the best Thanksgiving movie of all time, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, hands down. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, John Candy, Steve Martin was like the
Mm,
original David Spade, Chris
yeah.
Farley.
Yep.
I mean, I could recite every line to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That is my all-time favorite John Candy film next to Summer Rental.
Do you know how many times did we like die laughing of the mess around?
The Mess Around. I watch that sometimes just to watch it on YouTube. That was Ray Charles doing The Mess Around. coming up on half past the hour. And he's like dancing, playing like
The
whatchamacallit,
flute. Yeah, oh yeah,
saxophone.
yeah. But it's like you're going the wrong way. How do they
He's
know which way
drunk.
we're going?
He's drunk. Ugh.
I still do that sometimes, like when customers will be crazy and like they'll walk away and I'll like turn to the staff and I'll be like, you know, they don't get the reference. There was just a Ryan Reynolds just did a John
I
Candy
watched it.
documentary.
Yeah, it's called
I haven't
I Like Me,
I
John
haven't
Candy
seen it
thing.
yet.
Yeah, it's very good. It's long, but it's good.
Yeah.
A lot of
I wanted to see the Eddie Murphy one too because the staff didn't believe me that Eddie Murphy was a singer.
yeah, he did Party All the Time. It's your dad's favorite
Exactly.
song.
Exactly. My dad's all-time favorite song. But they didn't believe me. They're like, well, yeah, like he sang in Shrek. And I was like, no, but like he had like an actual singing career with Rick James. And they were like, who's
Yeah.
that? And I was like,
Rick
and then I had to
Rick
explain
James
who.
started in the booth and ended up next to him by the end of the video. And that's remember he's like during the whole thing.
Have you seen there's like those two lunch ladies on social media that like recreate parts of songs?
No.
They did the Party All the Time, but it was like the one lunch lady's wearing like the Rick James like wig, but she's over like at a person who's like on the computer, like typing in stuff for work. Like she's at the control board, like doing the
I really don't go on that much social media other than like Facebook Messenger.
Mhm.
Then like going and posting stuff about this show on Facebook
Yeah.
is like the only time I go on social media.
No, people send me like reels at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like most of the time I just do a smiley face or whatever, but sometimes I'll watch it and be like, all right, now I'm gonna fall down the rabbit hole and watch shit until 5 o'clock in the morning and then can't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I ran it in 35 millimeter one time, and no one showed up.
I would have.
Yeah, we did. It
A
was when I
great
was living
movie.
in Tucson. We
It's a
did.
great movie.
We did the twerky trot, and we had like a bunch of different things together, and I ended it with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and no one showed up for it. We advertised it for like a month, and I was like, man, does nobody care about this movie but me? Like,
There's a lot of people because like if you go on like YouTube and stuff, like you'll find people that have gone to like the locations of where it was
yeah, yeah,
shot and stuff like that. I think the railroad scene was actually shot in Pennsylvania.
okay,
That
yeah, I
that that
know.
that interests me a lot
Do you
because it
remember
was.
Tommy Avalone?
I remember the name. I can't
He did
remember the
like he
face.
did like Wasted Apples and stuff like that.
Oh, that kid. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he's done a he did huge documentaries for Peacock and Hulu and stuff like that. But he
Mhm.
did one called uh, Filming Location or whatever, and they did all the locations of the John Hughes movies,
Right.
and they like the insides of it and all that kind of stuff. It was really really cool. He did
Yeah.
the Ghostbusters documentary. He did the Barney documentary. But yeah, he did those were really really cool, and it was neat to see what those houses look like now. The
Yeah. Like a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
young
Because
Macaulay Culkin.
yeah, because a lot of people think that the house at the end of Plane, Trains, and Automobiles is the Home Alone house,
No, it's
but
not.
it's not.
And we had Macaulay Culkin at in PA when I used to do AVGN,
Mhm.
and we took him. He wanted to go to Phoenixville, and he
Mhm.
wanted to see the Colonial Theater. So we took him to the Colonial Theater. Nobody knew who he was.
Really?
We went to the bar next door, and this was summertime, so there's a Phillies game going on. Nobody knew who he was. He was dressed like Macaulay Culkin, no
Right.
hat, no sunglasses, no nothing. Nobody knew who he was and all that kind of stuff. And then we didn't want him to feel bad, so we told the one girl, the waitress. I was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "That's the kid from Home Alone." And she's like, "Nah." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, it is," but she didn't believe us. So
Yeah, because he still looks like the same.
yeah, he's doing. I mean, he's doing big stuff now. Like
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
back to
yeah. But like before, like when he was like 90 pounds, looking like
yeah,
Jared Leto and stuff like that with the long hair and stuff.
yeah,
Like, but now that he's like, I think he married that chick off of the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody,
yeah.
that Asian chick,
So,
Brenda Song. I think
yeah,
that's her
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he looks exactly like he did when he was in Home
Mhm.
Alone.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, we had him, and then they didn't get all the shots they needed. So I have to play his back and his arms in certain shots because they realized they were editing, they were missing connective tissue to things for that Angry Video Game Nerd episode. So I was Macaulay Culkin's stand-in for his shoulder and his arm.
Should put that on your IMDb. Macaulay
I know,
Culkin
right?
stand-in.
I've been a couple people's stand-ins for things for web stuff. It's actually kind of funny. I was somebody's ear.
How tall was he?
uh Taller than I was about your height.
About 6'1"? Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he's
Macaulay?
that tall, but he was taller than me. He was about Justin's height.
Okay. Yeah,
So
because he
maybe
always
five,
looked like he
seven.
was like a short guy.
No, well, no, my former co-host is shorter than me, so I wasn't the shortest one of all of them. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
little Italian. But no,
yeah.
he was super nice, and I didn't want to like go and bother him, but it was the guy who he was doing that website with
Mm,
was the one kind of out there trying to get him on different shows, like got him on that because he went to college with James, and then
mm.
he got him on Red Letter Media, but then he like kind of the dude, I don't know if he was his manager or whatever, he like inserted himself into everything that they did. So it was like one of those things like, well, we didn't really want you on camera. We just kind of wanted him on camera. But it got to be like, oh, okay.
Macaulay Culkin wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me.
I mean, yeah, but you
Yeah.
know, it was weird. I just remember kind of staying away from him, being like, I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out over here with the chips are.
You were like Corey Feldman when he met Michael Jackson for the first time. Hi, and just runs away.
Then years later, Macaulay Culkin abandons me on 9/11.
Yeah, that was horrible. He had to like take
I
a
know.
bus with like the Jackson family and like drop them off like in Tennessee. Well, good luck.
Should have dreamed a little bit bigger of a dream. You'd have been on the airplane.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. He would have been on the one that crashed.
No, the guy from Marlton was.
He was the pilot.
Was he?
Yeah, he was one of the pilots.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm. He lived in
But
Country Farm.
oh yeah, I remember that. And that yeah, so that has nothing to do with Thanksgiving.
Nothing.
Um,
Nothing.
no.
Sorry.
But yeah, it was just one of those things. Like there was a lot of people that we grew up around, and you'd hear things. You know, we could go into all the horrible deaths that happened in Marlton over the years. A dude blew up his own house with his family inside of it.
Nothing real like I said, like going back to like the Stephen King's It type of thing. Like
Yeah,
every like stuff only happens like every 27 years. Like I
yeah,
remember living in Marlton from like 88 to 2012, and I think there was like one murder. It was like that
yeah.
guy in King's Grant.
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
that. And then a dude after we graduated, do you remember like where the next to DeMacy there was that big like field where we practiced football?
Yeah. Mhm. I
So
remember it.
those houses that were over there, this dude blew up his house with his family inside of it.
In
And
Mayfair?
yeah,
Wow.
because this girl Jill that I used to hang out with, her family lived there, and then when they graduated, her family moved to Florida, and she went off to college. But the
Mhm.
people who bought the house, like the dude, blew up the house with his family in it.
That's
Um,
insane.
yeah. So and I was living in Wildwood at the time, but I remember seeing it on the news and being like, "Holy shit! I know the people who live there," but I didn't
Right.
realize. Oh yeah, people move away. Um, I
You
hope
buy
they're
this house,
okay.
you're stuck here.
Well, yeah, because we knew a lot of people who lived in the same house for like 40 years.
Yeah, like people in Marlton, like like the true Marltonites were there the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
Then you would get like these kids that would come in like mid-year and then they wouldn't come back the next year. Remember that kid in high school freshman year, the kid from Oregon?
Yeah.
Um, he came in, it was like the second to last day of school. And he's like, I don't even know why I'm here. I've already got promoted to the 10th grade. And we kept calling him Kip Kipple or Kip
Yeah.
Kipling, whatever it was, and he got mad. You think that's funny? You kids really think that's funny?
I was like, I guess we thought it was pretty funny. Good humor ice cream.
Yeah, but he never came back. Like, what was the point?
Yeah. There was a lot of those kids. There was like people who like we would meet. I remember, especially in middle school, there were people who would come to DeMacy and then just like vanish, but then there was no trace of them ever. Like they were like,
Yeah. Like there was like some like girls I was friends with in like seventh grade that came in for like mid-year, never came back.
yeah,
And like there was no like talks about like, oh, where's this person? It
yeah.
was this, you should have known they weren't coming back.
There was when when I was in sixth grade. Remember the Ripleys that lived next door to me?
Yeah, I remember that.
So the art teacher was like, "Oh, there's this art program going on over the summer. You should go to it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah," because they were going to do filmmaking and stuff like that. And we went and we escaped because it was so fucking weird. Like they wanted kids like doing uh like breathing exercises and like physical movements and stuff like that. So we asked to use the bathroom and we escaped. But this one kid, I guess, had the same idea, and he was in eighth grade. We were in sixth grade, and we all escaped together. Like we made it to the north. And I remember like talking to this kid the whole walk back to like Country Farms, and then he waved goodbye, and it was like the end of Stand By Me. Like
He just
I imagine
disappeared.
he was stabbed in a convenience store. Like
Chris always made the best piece. He was stabbed in the throat, died almost instantly. And he just disappeared.
yeah, and like to this day I can remember what the kid looks like. I just remember standing across the street, he waved at us, and then we never saw him again.
I just picture you dressed like Gordy LeChamp in like the red shirt with stripes.
Skin it, skin it. But we were so obsessed with this. Leslie and I went through the yearbook trying to find if this kid existed.
Were you guys up in the treehouse?
Yeah.
That's not the secret. Nah.
We never found him though. I think it was probably a gas leak in the school.
We're gonna have you kids come to this camp, and then you guys are gonna get so full of morphine, you're gonna be hallucinating people that don't exist.
I remember him as clear as day. He had a bowl haircut.
If I can just picture it in my head right now.
He had a bowl haircut, and he had like kind of a one tooth that was kind of crooked because he was talking about like his dad wanted him to get. I can't believe I remember this. His dad wanted him to get braces, and he goes, "Dad, I'm not going to be a model."
I want to know who this kid is. I want to know if he's still around.
I probably not. He vanished. It's gonna be one of those things where like the parents got divorced, the dad kidnapped the kid, and then like, there's a hockey player like that? Like he raised them under a different name.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was from Cherry Hill.
Bobby Ryan?
Yeah, that's not his real name. His
Bobby
dad,
Ryan?
yeah, his dad kidnapped. Look it up. His dad kidnapped him, and he was living under a different name.
I think you're right. I just shot that name out to be funny. I don't even think it really was Bobby
No,
Ryan.
no, yeah, look it up
I think I remember hearing something about that.
yeah,
You are
there was a
correct,
whole.
sir. You are correct.
There was we were watching something I was one of the year that the Flyers haven't been relative good in years, but we were
Yeah.
watching something on ESPN2, and they did that whole story, and we were like, holy shit, like because I'm
Yeah.
trying to explain to the person who was with me, I was like, dude, I grew up near Cherry Hill, like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I have a Bobby
But
Ryan Senators jersey. I'll wear that next episode.
I have a Mike Comrie Senators jersey.
Yeah, I have a it's like the Winter Classic.
Okay,
It's red, has the O, and then it has, Bobby Ryan on the back.
because I remember the year that they lost the Stanley Cup
It was the
to
Ducks. The Ducks.
Anaheim, yeah. when we were living down the shore, and it was the first time I ever got drunk. And that girl Stephanie O'Shea had to take care of me because I was 20 something years old, and it's the first time I'd ever been drunk.
Yeah, it was a big deal because I was like a really big, other than the Philadelphia Flyers, the Mighty Ducks are like my second favorite hockey team. Like them and the Toronto Maple Leafs, I guess I would say like are tied as like my two second favorites. But like I remember like it was a big deal when they won because I was in like when they went to the Stanley Cup final against Jersey, I was living in Florida working for Disney. And I remember me and my roommate, he was from Chicago, was like this Mexican kid. He wasn't even in the hockey, but we watched that entire Stanley Cup playoff. The Flyers got eliminated. We watched that entire Stanley Cup playoff with the Ducks. They beat the Red Wings, they beat the Stars, and then they end up beating the Wild. And then they went into the Stanley Cup final, and that's when Korea, who's my all-time favorite player, got knocked out by Stevens, but came back.
Yeah, and scored.
Like Eric Lindros, who took the hit. Oh.
I saw that game. Actually, I think I was with you that night. I think we were in Wildwood.
Game 7?
Yeah.
What, the Ducks or the Flyers?
No, the Flyers won. When Lindros got knocked out. We were in Wildwood.
Yep. You got knocked out.
And then I remember watching the Ducks lose in Atco at Steve Goldek's house. So he's like the Mighty Ducks, like the movie, the kids in the movie. I was like, shut up, Steve.
Yeah. I'm the queen of sass.
King Steve. King. Over
a
couple months ago, I went to he plays piano at a gay bar in Philly.
Makes sense.
And Amber and I went and watched him play, and like this guy kept wanting to get up and sing, and he's like, well, it's kind of what I'm here for. And he's like, okay. So he's like, what do you want to play? And the dude like was being like extra. So like it was so funny watching Steve like, oh man, you got.
Remember when Steve wanted to do that play about like a sea captain?
Yeah, he wanted to do a gay sailor play.
Yeah.
Where like the captain had to go down and like check every man's like undercarriage.
Yeah, I remember that. And he had like that picture over his bed of like a guy holding like a beach ball.
Yeah.
I remember that. I got invited to his graduation party. It was a pool party.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He was a nice guy. He's,
Steve was the greatest.
Yeah. I think he was the first the first openly gay person that we were ever like friends with.
He was.
A lot of people were gay that we were friends with, but they didn't really come out to being gay. And he came out to being gay, you know.
He still is a nice guy.
Yeah, it's a nice guy, yeah. He works for the school system or something like that now.
Yeah.
But they were those Atco kids, the Baptist church kids that the funniest thing was the Freddie Got Fingered night. They were never allowed to go to the late night movies when we were in high school at the AMC, and they worked there. You and I were always there.
Always there.
The first time that they went was Freddie Got Fingered, and the scene where they're swinging the baby around the top of his head with the umbilical cord, they all just got up at once and just left the theater.
We got less than a minute left.
All right, so that's that's our Thanksgiving episode, and we'll get into some other stuff next time.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I'll wear my jersey. I'll wear the Bobby Ryan jersey next time.
All right, and your dad can kidnap you. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Fast food restaurant. Just ahead of him, two men got into an argument. One of them pulled a knife. Chris, who had always made the best piece, tried to break it up. He was stabbed in the throat. He died almost instantly.